Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 171 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, aka the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. All I've ever wanted in life is to be adored by a person, a lover, the masses, everyone, and everybody. That's all I've ever wanted, and I believe in my black heart made of plastic that I'm not the only one. I believe that's what most people want. They want to be adored. You say you want to be loved by a partner, by a lover. No. You want to be adored by your lover. That's what you want in a significant other. And if you had enough aura to you, you'd want it from everybody. And I've noticed through my observations that we're severely lacking that adulation in this country. Now, I live in the suburbs, and not because I'm successful. I'm living in the suburbs because I'm mooching off the success of my parents. I am living in their home, their basement, which allows me to observe people who are successful, families, young families, marriages, couples, professionals, law-abiding citizens. These are the people, the types of individuals that surround me on the left, the right, across the street, up the street, down the street, around the block. They're all different, but they're all the same. And I do a lot of road running. I walk dogs. I'm out and about, usually with my shirt off, because I'm letting all the married babes know that I mean business. The B-Man, that is. But I notice what I'm not noticing. If that makes any sense, let me explain if you allow me to do so, and I thank you very much. We have a 49th subscriber. If you are that newest subscriber, thank you for watching and supporting this project that is Verbal Graffiti. But I've noticed, so, we got to backtrack a little bit. When my parents are loving marriage, they loved each other, probably unlike your parents who are divorced and alcoholics and drug addicts, and you saw a lot of violence, and I have no empathy for you, but because my parents were loving, and I'm very thankful for that. But my dad would come home from work, and my dad would kiss my mom as soon as he entered the front door of the house. Now they weren't like sucking face. Like, it wasn't a complete makeout session where like, mom, dad, stop. It was just just a smooch on the lips, like, oh, I'm glad to see you, glad that you're home. It's we've had a day without seeing each other. It's just there was a love. But really, more than anything, it was just an adulation. Like I appreciate you going out to work and coming home. And then before my mom would go out at night, because my mom was an overnight nurse and then a director of nurses, like my dad would kiss her before she would go out to work. Like a signal. The kiss wasn't like I want to fuck, like I want to tear you apart right now. It was more about just a signal of respect, of adulation, of like, hey, I appreciate you. And I don't, I don't see that today. I take walks around my block, and I'm just using these people for example because they are in my vicinity. There's a married couple with like a young family. They're married. They're probably, I'm guessing, early 30s at the latest, and they have two young kids who are in, I don't know, first, second grade. But that's beside the point. Like I see them all the time. They've lived in the neighborhood of, I don't know, like 5-10 years. Never seen them kiss ever. And they're out in the yard a lot with their kids. I've never seen them kiss. I've never seen them hug. And then they got neighbors a couple doors down the other way. Same thing. Married, a couple young kids. Never see them like playing with their kids together. There's always one parent with a kid or the other parent and the kid. And when he comes home from work, there's no kiss. I never seen them hug. I never see of all the married couples in this block in which I reside currently, because of my parents are successful and I'm not, and I'm mooching off of them. Like I've never seen couples, any of these married couples, walk around the block holding hands. Now, there's one couple who will walk their newborn child with their dogs, and they seem to appreciate each other. But again, it's a newborn. We'll see how that turns out. But I just don't see that love and affection from these couples. And it's not just these two. But my block here in this neighborhood, it's a lot of young families. There's a lot of families that have kids who are now teenagers, and some that are, grown up and moved out by themselves. But I see all these married couples, and this is supposed to be, unless you're a lizard person or, a super, super high wealthy person. The neighborhood I live in is kind of like the quote unquote American dream, right? Like everyone has about half an acre to an acre of land, 3-bedroom house, two bathrooms, maybe like an above ground pool in the backyard. Like it's a safe neighborhood. Your kid can ride the bike and you don't have to worry that, there's going to be any violence if he turns a corner and he's out of eyesight. Like this is the quintessential American dream. Safe neighborhood, a decent school, public schools. You're proud to live where you live. You can take pride in living in this neighborhood, and it's apparent that these families do, because they take care of their lawns and the garden and all that jazz. But I see all these couples, and they're never hugging each other. It's not, and maybe I'm wrong. Like maybe they are. Maybe some of these couples have like a swing and a pole in their bedroom, and they're getting freaky and they're bouncing off the walls late at night. But I get the inclination that they're not. And I'm observing this. What I'm not observing, I'm no affection, no adulation for either side, from the husband to the wife, to the wife to the husband. And I don't blame the wife, any of these wives that live near me, for not having any adulation for their husband, because the wives are working too. They're putting in a full-time job. They're coming home. Most of them are probably making more money than the husbands. So the husband comes home, and what is there to appreciate your husband for? Because you look at the husband and well, you just did what I did. I just got home from work a half hour before you did. So why am I going to give you a kiss and appreciate you and what you're doing for this family? Because I'm doing the same exact thing. So I don't blame these wives for not looking up at all, being awestruck by their husbands, having adulation for them. And I don't blame them. But that is something that is needed for a strong knit community, or so I think. Says the guy who's never been married and have kids. So maybe I'm speaking out of my mouth, and this is all tomfoolery, which it probably is. But it's just something that I noticed, and I don't really. I think the only way, as a John, you can correct this if you're married and you have kids, or a girlfriend, or a baby you're trying to impress, is it's really difficult in 2025 to get adulation from your wife, your girlfriend, or a prospective partner, lover, through work. The babes work too. They have more degrees than you have. They're more intelligent than you. So what you got to do, if you want that adulation, is you got to develop a skill, a talent outside of work, whether it be a hobby or a second grind, or you got to do something. But I don't know, dancing, photography, stand-up comedy, music, YouTube. I don't know. You got to do something that makes your wife look up to you and go, wow, look at the stud I get to go to bed with every night. I get to live with, eat dinner, spend time on the weekend. So working is not enough if you want the adulation from your lady, your baby. You gotta put in overtime, doing something else. Become an expert at that will make your wife go, wow. The problem is most of you, myself included, are not talented enough or gifted enough to do something besides work that will make your babe go, wow. So we're all fucked. Huh? What can you do? Upward and onward? All right, this comes from, there is a theme. This episode is all about fucked up relationships. All right, this comes from the subreddit cheating_stories. So cheating stories. Caught my, so I'm a 33-year-old male, wife, 32-year-old female. You should have went for someone a little younger. That was your first mistake. Moving along. Snapchatting an employee from the tennis club we belong to. Uh-oh. My wife sent me an innocent topless picture after our newborn spit up all over her chest. That's peculiar. I went to her to get a live view as any guy would do. Would they? Her phone was still open and I caught a glimpse that the photo may have gotten sent to somebody else. Uh-oh. This morning I got a hold of her phone and was able to look through it and didn't see the person listed on recently sent. I searched the name and the conversation popped up. I was immediately sick to my stomach, went to work to process everything I saw and took a picture of. I couldn't do my job and told my boss I had to leave, planning on surprising her and confronting her when I get home. Update, more info. From what I can tell, they have been flirting for a couple of days. He asked her to hook up. That means dick you down, fuck. They exchanged some preferences and talked about what they like sexually. Talked about when they could practice tennis together and where they can meet privately. More to come. Please do give us details as they come in on Reddit. Maybe we'll discuss it again here on Verbal Graffiti. Well, first off, I always find it very peculiar. It's very odd that the first thing you do when you find out your wife is cheating on you is to go to Reddit and put it in a post for strangers to read and talk about and think about your life. Like you go to work and the first I got put this on Reddit. Gotta get that karma. That's a very peculiar behavior. But again, it does seem to be normal behavior in this day and age. That is 2025. We've said this here before at Verbal Graffiti. It's very well documented. This is our stance here at Verbal Graffiti. If your lover has Snapchat, or is cheating on you, and if your lover is not cheating on you, they want to cheat on you and are looking for someone via Snapchat to get dick down on the side from you. So if your partner has Snapchat, just know what's up. Don't be surprised when you find hidden messages on Snapchat. We gotta get that out of the way because that is a telltale sign that your partner is trying to get some strange that is not your own. So that is, get that out of the way. You cannot allow. See, the B-man, see, I feel for you. Like, I can't have empathy. I cannot have empathy for you in your predicament and your crumbling marriage and life because I've never had a wife. I've never had children. I've really never had commitment from a babe or anything, really. I really don't know what commitment is. I do not know how to commit to somebody or something, and no one's ever committed to me. So, like, I'd be lying to you if I said I had empathy for you in your crumbling life. So that is not what I have, but I do feel for you because I did get that pit in my stomach. Because I have been cheated on, but not from a wife with, our newborn child. So, you know, I'm going to tread lightly with this one. Now, with that preamble out of the way, I like to think of myself, the B-man, as a live and let live type of John. But there are exceptions to the rule, and one of those exceptions are coaches, especially tennis instructors. You cannot allow your wife to have a tennis instructor. Let's go back to Tom Brady, right? Married to Giselle. Tom Brady, he's getting paid $300 million by Fox to be an analyst for NFL football games. He's a multimillionaire, 100-millionaire. Super Bowls, he's got more Super Bowls than he has fingers. And his wife, Giselle, cheated on him with her MMA instructor teacher. So and that's Tom Brady. If Tom Brady's wife is cheating on him with her instructor, what are the rest of us Johns going to do to prevent that from happening from our wives and their instructors? So you cannot allow your wife, your spouse, ever to have an instructor, a tennis instructor, an MMA instructor, a golf coach, a male masseuse, a yoga instructor, any male instructor teaching your wife, spouse, how to do any type of sport or activity. You cannot allow that if you want to live till your dying day with your wife. You cannot allow that. That is a no-go. That's to be written in the marriage contract. That is not allowed, because how can you compete as a regular John with this tennis instructor that's, he's mid-20s, he's got long hair, olive skin, he's more athletic than you, has a better personality, better sales skills. You can't compete with that. Of course your wife wants to fuck him. Of course he's Snapchatting her photos of spit up on her boobs to this tennis instructor. And honestly, I don't blame the tennis instructor for wanting to take down your wife. If you're this is why you become a tennis instructor at a high-end country club, wherever. I don't know about that lifestyle, but I do know that tennis instructors probably don't get paid a lot of money to be a tennis instructor at a private country club for Stepford wives and millionaires who are not on the tennis tour. He's probably being paid $20 an hour. He's probably living off of tips. He probably has multiple roommates that he's living with. Right, so the only perk he has as a tennis instructor at this private country club is to fuck the members' wives in their $1 million home over the kitchen island and bend her over. So I don't blame him for wanting to do that with your wife and trying to get the logistics together to do so, because that is a job. If you're a tennis instructor or a yoga instructor, MMA teacher, whatever that genre of work, that's the only perk to the work, is to fuck the wives and your classmates, married or not married. So I ain't blaming him. I ain't pointing fingers at him. For you, it's just, it's gut wrench. It's gut wrenching. Balls shriveling up into your inside. You wake up that morning, you think you got life by the balls, because you really do. You have a hot wife, right, who apparently has great tits that she's showing everybody that you don't know about. You got a newborn child. You have a young family. You're financially, it seems like you're thriving. You have a job. You're a member at a country club. You got life by the balls. And then you see your wife Snapchat, and you realize you got to start Googling divorce attorneys like that, on a dime. on a dime. Like your wife, when you really think about it, your wife's vagina probably isn't healed yet fully from giving birth, and she's already trying to get dick on the side that is not your dick. So what you got to do is get a paternity test and pray that that baby who spit up on your wife's boobs is not your baby, because your wife has probably been cheating on you since the day you two started dating. Because literally, like, her vagina's not healed, and she's already trying to get dick from somebody else. Like, this ain't the first time your wife has cheated on you. Like, she's probably cheated on you with everybody you kind of know in your community. Like the bartender at your favorite restaurant, absolutely, she's fucked. One of the guys in your fantasy football league, absolutely, she's fucked. The tennis instructor, she's going to fuck. Your tax attorney, yep, she's fucked somebody in that office. Like everybody and anybody who's better looking than you, that the both of you interact with, she's gotten dick from. So like, you married a whore. You married a whore. Like, is it all that bad though? Is it all that bad? Like we here. We're pro boobies, jigglers. Like basically, that's all we talk about here is at Verbal Graffiti is how great boobs are. And like, you send me a shot of your boobs, photo, video, whatever. Like I'm gonna goon to it. The B-man will goon to it. But this might be the exception to the rule. Another exception to the rule. Like if some babe is sending me like a Snapchat photo of her boobs with her baby's vomit all over the boobies, I'd be like, thanks, but no thanks. How about you get back at the B-man when there's no more milk coming out of your boobs? That way, when we fuck, like, I don't have to wear goggles while we do so. Like, you married a very odd, kinky woman who is sending baby vomit chest photos to guys, to you and tennis instructors and everybody else. That's a weirdo. That's somebody you don't want to be in matrimony with. But again, man, it's tough. Like your life is just. It's just, it's not over, but it's like you thought you had a bunch of balls, and now you got to start all over. And hopefully this baby is not yours, and you can just like wash your hands clean of her and her spit up dirty boobs life, and you just move on. You're young, you're financially stable, thriving. You're a country club, yeah. Go find a yoga instructor to get even. I think I have a word from a friend, so let's go check that out.
Is that thing on?
Yes, sir.
Am I on? Hey, what's up? Downtown New Haven tonight, yo. Chilling out. UT no cop. You know what I mean? Pretty nice. Just chilling out tonight, getting some money and relaxing.
Right on.
Right on.
Verbal graffiti?
Do I know how to do graffiti?
Verbal graffiti.
Verbal graffiti?
Yeah.
I know how to do verbal graffiti.
Every Monday and Thursday?
Yeah, every Monday and Thursday.
Verbal graffiti.
Verbal graffiti.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, boy.
I still haven't gotten over that guy's predicament. That John, I feel for him. Like, I know I've never been in that situation. We went through that. But you just imagine being that guy. If you can for a moment, you have a newborn baby, young family. Your wife is in the next room over from you, nursing your baby together, just and breastfeeding your baby, and all she's thinking about is making a dick appointment with a dick that is not yours. So she takes a photo, a Snapchat of her chest with baby puke all over it to the tennis instructor. That's not you. But then she also sends the same photo Snapchat to you. That's cold. That is cold. that's a bitch. That's a bitch right there. But I'm sure you weren't the perfect husband either. The worst part about that whole predicament, it's probably not the worst. It's probably the least worst part of it. But I want to point this out because this would aggravate me. You're gonna cheat on the B man, fine. I understand. Hey man, me and Mr. Perfect, we'll get by. We'll get by. We've gotten by without you. We'll get by after you. But if you cheat on us, hey, kumbaya. Hey, I don't love it, but it happens. This life is harsh, right? What bothered me though is that she sent the same tit pic to the guy she's potentially going to cheat on you with and you. That irks me. Like, if you're going to cheat on me, the B man, like, send different photos to the other John, to the Chad or the alpha male. Like I'm not doing it for you anymore. Fine. You're going to cheat on me? You're going to go behind my back? Fine. I don't love it, but if you're gonna send the same photos, like naked, naughty photos to me that you're also sending to the other Chad guy, like that, come on, like, be original. Like, don't send repeat photos to both of us. There's just something. There's something very snaky about that. Like, I would much rather you take a different photo, video of yourself, send it to that Chad, and then send a different video to me. But that's me. Maybe I'm just a little weird like that. Maybe that, maybe the actual cheating would bother you more than the same photos, but the same photos does need to be mentioned, which I just did. So a tip of my penis to myself, and let me know, would that bother you, knowing that the same tit pics are going to you and the man she's cheating on you with? Well, let's discuss down in the comments, which no one ever does leave comments, but I would like some comments if you would like to leave one. Moving forward, this is a long one, so let's get to it. Buckle up. Get a shot of tequila, and start making dick appointments with your side pieces, because this is a long one. Asking women over 40, we've been to this subreddit quite a lot recently. How do I navigate a partner that notices other women constantly? I like to start off by saying this is the healthiest relationship I've ever been in, and my partner is very supportive of me. Well, I'm happy for you. There are so many positives this relationship has brought to my life, but I'll only focus on the issue for the sake of the post. This one issue has followed me throughout the relationship, and I feel I'm ruining a great relationship because of my own hangups and possibly distorted thinking due to past trauma. My partner is neurodivergent, I do not know what that word means, and says he does not feel he's doing anything wrong. On the other hand, I feel very disconnected, unloved, and invisible when he looks at other women. Oddly, he has never given me a reason not to trust him and has never done anything to break my trust. This makes all this even more weird to navigate. Anytime we are out together, he will notice that attractive woman in the room. He will notice her a few times and continue to look at her many times before she is out of his sight. Usually they are women that are his type. I look nothing like the woman he typically finds attractive. We recently moved, and now the issue is the girl that lives across from us. She is a very young and sometimes hangs out in her bikini to garden or swim in the pool. He tells me when he notices her doing something, which I find strange. On one hand, I'd assume he wouldn't tell me if he thought he was doing something wrong, but on the other hand, it makes me feel ugly. I will admit I'm very bad at noticing what's happening around us, and I know it's hard not to notice her since our main window faces her backyard. I feel like I'm going a bit crazy. I know we are not blind, and I feel a bit controlling to say he can't look at people. On the other hand, my confidence is dropping, and I just feel worthless. I could be honest. I could use honest, kind advice. Relationships just feel painful to me, and I'm worried they will always feel like this. Maybe I am just meant to be alone because I can't handle the insecurities relationships produce. The B-man is at fault of doing this as well. I do have a leering eye. I do stare at babes that are in my presence. I ogle at them almost to the point of making it uncomfortable for everybody in the room. The hot babe, maybe the babe I'm with, maybe everyone who's noticing the ogling that I am doing. So, like, I know this makes some babes angry, uncomfortable, want to break up because of it. The first of all, can I have your mailing address? Because I would like to come over to your residence and ogle, gawk at this neighbor in her bikini as she gardens with your husband while he's doing so. Like that. That's big. That's big. Like we gotta discuss that before we get to your relationship. That is like that's a gift from God right there. When you have a neighbor or someone right across from you who's hot, young, barely legal, and she gardens in a bikini, like that should be noted on the Zillow listing. Like that. Like every house has a couple toilets and a few bathrooms, but if there is a neighbor that gardens and walks around the yard in her bikini and she's a babe, that is something the real estate agent should bring up to prospective buyers. That is something I would want to know. I would bid higher than asking price if there's a hot babe who gardens in a bikini. That's big. That's big. And also conversely, if there's a Miss Piggy who's just a blob of a human being that looks like a cheese doodle, and she's walking around in a one piece all summer in her garden, I want to know that too, because I'm not going to put a bid in on that house if I had the money to do so. And now that I think about it, I often walk around shirtless in my neighborhood. I do everything. I mow the lawn. I pick weeds. I go swimming. I get the mail in my bathing suit. Like my shirt is off all summer long into the early fall. And my body's not like it's not repulsive, but if you're a babe, it's not going to get you horned up either. Like it just, I don't know if me being topless so often throughout the year for my neighbors, I don't know if that's a positive or a negative. I'll have to ask them. But yeah, if there's a hot babe who's gardening, like that, put that in a little paragraph on your Zillow ad. Like, hey, look at this. Like that should be the first photo. Like the lady in her bikini bent over picking up some strawberries. That's the first photo. And then the second image could be of the house and everything inside of it. So that I want to come over. I want to hang out with the husband, have a Busch Light as we gawk at the neighbor gardening in her bikini. But back to you. Now, everyone on the like I read some of the responses. Everybody said you should get not a divorce, but you should break up with this guy. He's being very disrespectful. He doesn't love you. That's Reddit's response for if there's anything wrong with a relationship. Anything, they'll say break up. That is their solution. That is not my solution. I thought long and hard about this one, And I'm sincere when I say that. I really did. You need immersion therapy. That's what you need, immersion therapy. What you should do is invite this neighbor or this lady across the way that you can see out your window. Invite her over for some drinks. And then when you all get liquored up, sit down in the corner while your husband just rearranges the insides of this young, fertile babe. And watch your husband fuck your neighbor. And keep inviting her over. Like the first time you cuck yourself and watch your husband just pipe down and rearrange the insides of this babe that is objectively hotter than you are, more attractive than you are, you will be filled with rage. Trust me, you will. You'll want to rip his penis off, throw it in her garden, and have nothing to do with either of them the rest of your life. But this is immersion therapy. Like, keep inviting her over. Keep allowing her, the neighbor, to cuck you while your husband fucks her. And then when you go out into the world with your husband and he points out a babe, go up to the babe, make friends with her, invite her over. Again, sit in the corner of your bedroom, watch your husband fuck the hotter babe than you. And you'll notice each time you get cucked, and watch your husband pipe another babe that is not you. That rage won't be as intense. Each time it happens, there's a little less rage. And in time, with the success of this immersion therapy, I keep calling him a husband, but your boy toy, pointing out and leering and looking and mentally undressing a babe in front of you, it will be nothing. There will be no twinge of jealousy at all. I watched you fuck more attractive babes in front of me. So you calling a babe attractive that's nothing. I can't get past that. That doesn't give me any angst. Doesn't make me feel ugly or unloved. So that's what you need. You need a case of immersion therapy. Cuck yourself, allow your husband, encourage your husband to fuck, dick down, pipe, rearrange the insides, the guts of all these babes that he points out that are attractive. That is my solution to save your relationship. And otherwise, what else are you going to do? That is the only option. The only other option, you put out blackout curtains in every window in your house so he can't see, this babe gardening in a string bikini. You could break up with him, but like you said, you're in your 40s. You've never had a successful relationship. Chances are this guy you're with now, this boy toy, he's the last chance you have for a little smidgen of happiness for the back 9 of your life. He's all you got, and he's probably all you got. You get rid of him, like everyone else on Reddit is advising, you're going to end up lonely. Alone. Dying alone. So just get deep in immersion therapy, get past this, and you can continue on with this guy who you said is great. You trust him. He gets you. Best man you've ever been with. He accepts your past trauma, and it seems like you got a good thing going. So yeah, immersion therapy. You're welcome. Go suck a fat one.